choose the team before the idea, because the idea will change so many times and you need the right people around to pivot. Even it's tiring and it's stressful and it's hard, don't remember to have joy and find joy in what you're building.
Building a business isn't a straight line. It's a masterclass of resilience. You're listening to Lesson Learned, your weekly deep dive into the minds of creators and risk takers. I'm Teodor Mincu, founder of Messenger.os, your email automation platform, and it's time to level up. My guest today is Mircea Serediuc, co-founder of Narrio and Chief Product Officer. Welcome, Mircea. Please introduce yourself and tell us a few words about Narrio.
Thank you very much. Always a challenge to present myself, because one of the things that I can say and is defining me and is defining the organization that we are building at Narrio is that I care and we care. We care a lot about people, and because of that, a lot of decisions are taken in the favor of helping other people suffer less. This is a very, the language is shaped by jobs to be done. It's quite hard to talk with me and not mention jobs to be done. And because of that, in jobs to be done, the mantra of jobs to be done is people don't buy products, they hire them to do progress in a struggling moment. And what we are building at Narrio, it's a platform that helps people who are suffering in the sales organizations, and they suffer from different challenges, but most important, they suffer because of bad data. Gathering data, getting insights on the data. The CRMs at the moment are giving you slightly to no insights. They are patching LLMs on top of their knowledge and trying to give you insights, but they are not accurate and they are like poorly displayed. And one of the challenges that we found in the lives of revenue leaders is they need good data to take good decisions. So we found this insight and we started to build Narrio to help these sales leaders trust the data. Because most of the time they are telling us we have many tools, but we can't or we don't trust the data, which is challenging. Because of that, they can take good decisions in pipeline, forecast, what deals to save or not. And because it's a problem of revenue, as you know, as a founder, if you don't have money, all the other departments are impacted.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really big problem that we're tackling to give back trust in data.
Okay. How did it all started? What was the first idea for Narrio?
I think it was, I don't find the right word, but it was like a journey of 1 year. 1 year ago, we were going to Bucharest for the first time to pitch Narrio. And at that moment, I remember discussing even with you and getting insights how you do LinkedIn content. We went from LinkedIn content to employee advocacy, and then we go into the sales enablement. And after we started to do sales enablement, we figured out that people struggle with more basic things than the white papers and the case studies and all those documents that you need to send to clients. They have challenges in understanding the clients, helping the account executives better qualify the leads they are getting in their pipeline, like more to the ground, more to the daily grind of people who are like selling. So with those insights, in the last, let me think, like 6 months, we started this pivot. It wasn't a straight line, but because we are a data company at the back, Cube Digital, the mother company that is the agency where we met and started to work, and we figured out that we want to do a spin-off and build Narrio. Because of that, we are my colleagues, and I'm learning AI as it appeared, but they were doing AI even when it wasn't cool, like machine learning periods. So because of that, we are a data company. So that's why we wanted to tackle this problem, and we are tackling it from a very different angle. We are tackling it from the semantic layer, where things needs to be understood in context, not in a singular place. Like, try to imagine now, and for the listeners, In the previous years, when you were searching on Google, you put gray shoes and you got a lot of gray shoes. Now you need to explain, I need gray shoe. I want a pair of gray shoes to do for sports. And it's really important to give the full context.
Yeah.
So that's what we are doing, because in different industries and different areas, same thing mean different things based on the context. So we're trying to tackle this from a very technological standpoint. It's not just SaaS that it's solving a problem. We want to use the technology. So that's why it's quite challenging, because you have R&D, and then based on the R&D, you put it into production. So for me, for the first time in my life as a product manager, I work with a team that has R&D mentality and is not building dashboard over dashboard because people are challenging, having challenges and this kind of stuff. They are like more into experiments, what the data will look, how we model the data, and it's fascinating.
Okay, how would you describe Narrio in one sentence?
We are helping sales leaders take better decisions without chasing their team for information.
Okay, thank you. Let's move forward. What is hot at in sales right now, beside all those N8N schemas and stuff?
It's a lot of noise before a client gets in front of your door. Outbound signals,
Everybody does outbound.
platforms,
Everybody does
lemlets.
outbound.
Yes.
Yeah, so everybody's overwhelmed by people doing outbound, right?
Yes. So now it's the moment when outbound becomes really interesting, because it's not just about numbers. It's about personalization. It's about understanding the moment when the client is really struggling, as I said, in jobs to be done. One of the things that I'm searching at the moment and I'm testing with outbound is this moment, like trying to write messages to explain that specific moment. Like, I will give an example. The anxiety of a revenue leader before his end of quarter report to the board, what he will gonna answer. Because that anxiety, it's something that you feel, and when someone writes it in an email, instantly you have a recollection. So it's more important of the moments of conversion and moments of struggle when you help him to get, because one of the things when you're early and you're new into the market, people can't give you big tasks to solve. Only when you're the only one in the market. Like, I don't know, you're the only person who fixes Rolex in a market and there is no one, probably they will give you that. But before, they will give you a small task and you need to execute it extremely well to get the chance to give you more of their challenges. And that's how trust is created. And sales, it's a game of trust. If people don't trust you, it's quite hard to give you responsibilities and believe that you know what you're talking about. So in outbound, that's one of the things that I'm testing. Like, I'm creating a lot of campaigns on Lemlist with 20, 30 contacts, not bulk. I just want to figure out open rate. I want to see answers. I see sequences that are like connected one to each other to fulfill the story. In each one of them, I don't mention who I am, what I do. I talk only about them, about their context, about clients that we had, but it's about framing someone with the same context you had or you have at the moment, fix their problem. Do you want to see it? But not about talking what I do, what we've achieved, what features we have, nothing. It's about the struggling moment they have. So for us, it's quite important to have that mentality of experimenting, testing, like fishing. You just put more fish nets into the pond and figure out which one is biting. So,
okay, but you don't even sign your emails. I mean, say who you are.
yes,
I mean,
you
you
have,
have to be a
but it's
person,
like,
right? Yeah, it's just the end.
yeah, it's
It's
just
not
a small
pitching
line.
something.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
But
Okay.
at the same time, I don't put case studies. I don't put links to website, like nothing, because it's about the person who is like struggling and I'm just getting into their door.
What what other channels that you tried to go to market failed for you? I mean, I'm not saying outbound failed, but what else did you try and failed?
Nothing fails if you're learning something.
Yeah.
The
Learning is the last thing that remains after failing something. Come on. Okay, we don't do
yes,
stuff
but
to learn.
let me phrase it correctly.
Okay.
The part with the learning, and this is something that is very personal. I can share. Before understanding that I have to learn from these experiments, I thought that every email it's signed by Mircea Serediuc, and if no one is responding, it means that Mircea Serediuc sucks. I'm not good at it, and that pressure, you can remove it only with changing the mindset that you want to learn something. And even no signal means that you're not doing, like, it's part of the learning, and it's not for the sake of learning. Spray and pray and believe that, yeah, no one is giving it. I did that. I downloaded 500 companies from Clay, and I put them on emails, and I send them emails, and no one opened, and I say, yeah, they are not interested. Yeah, but I wasn't strategic at all. It was, we are Narrio, we are doing this. If you want to see more from us, we can tell you. That's spray and pray. But if I'm personalizing and I'm trying to guess if you're struggling or not, but based on your context, you have more chances to figure out if someone is in a moment of conversion, the moment of struggle. And why I said I'm learning, because I'm going on communities. For the first time, my co-founder, Alice, she is more into communities, because in communities, you find people filtered already to be part of your ICP, and you can find them there in a more open way, because in communities you have the trust already bought, because we are in the same community where we belong to the same things, we have the similar values. So I'm more open to trust you instead of other things that other places where you can be. Events, I tried going into events, going to networking events, but one of the challenges is the fact that at the moment the events that I attended in Romania, it's quite hard for me to find a specific ICP that I'm looking to. And mostly I find it in UK, Israel, then Switzerland. These are the countries where we are starting pilots and are like interesting to have the different nationalities and different ways of thinking. We're trying now Germany, Estonia, Austria, this kind of part of the world where sales is more based on features. People are selling features and they are not doing discovery correctly. That's one of the things that we figure out, or they need to do discovery more diligently to convert. So it's a game of numbers, and Narrio helps in that direction also. And that's why I'm saying, like, we are doing a lot of experiments. Communities, inbound, outbound. It's testing, refining, and yeah, like in Lemlist, there are like now 8 or 9 campaigns in 2 weeks with no more than 30 people in a.
Okay. One question. Let's say you
Yes.
receive an email. It can be in the spam box, because every co-founder checks also the spam folder. I am checking the spam folder. Anyways, you receive an email, called the outreach email, addressing, I mean, not asking about the needs, whatever. It's just saying we, for example, are selling air conditioner. And let's
Yes.
say we sell and install air conditioner in June or July. Okay, let's say.
Perfect. Very good context framing.
Yeah,
That was.
and yes, because it's the need. In July, the need is very high. Okay, and let's say you randomly need some air conditioner, and you just receive this email saying we install air conditioner, not asking weird questions, whatever. Would you ignore that email, or would you say, reply, okay, give me more details?
It depends.
What would
What
you
you're
do? No,
asking.
you, Mircea, what would you do? You receive this email in a period of time where you really search for this. It's a need.
First of all,
You
I
have
will
need.
open it.
You want to open
First
it?
thing, I will open it.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
for
because
sure, I
it's in.
will open it.
Yeah,
Second thing, I would go and figure out the pricing and the conditions and everything.
that's it. It's you convert. You kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say converted, but you opened and checked out
Yeah,
that
goes
business.
beyond that. Yes.
Then what's happened from that point on? The email, it's fulfilled. I mean, made its
Yes.
purpose.
Yes. Perfectly.
So it's not that what I asked, but I had the luck to find you, Mircea, in when you needed that whatever service product. Okay, so this
Yes.
is like targeting the audience. So, and it's of course a good product. I mean, it's a needed product in that period. So I
Yes.
think that it's really good to talk about the needs and everything. But if you really have a good or product or service, and you target very well, target or have the luck, because you can target somebody that doesn't need in that moment. Okay,
Yes.
I need usually in general this, but not now, right? So if, because I'm also like this, if you write me something that I would need, and
Yes, but
of
it's
course,
really
if it's
important.
somebody from, I don't know, very overseas, maybe I would be circumspect, but
If it's from Nigeria, probably you'll, and you need to
okay,
pay
if
up
it's a
front.
prince from Nigeria, maybe
Yes.
I would be circumspect. But in the end, if it's like a lucky strike, or what do you say, right? If I have that need in that moment, a good or a bad, I don't know, easy, low ticket, high ticket, whatever, I will open and
No, it's important if it's low or high ticket.
okay.
That was one of the things that I wanted to say. Like, if it's an air conditioner, probably I would take the decision by myself without asking my wife. But if it's something that for sure we want to buy a new mattress, or we want to buy a new couch, or we need to buy, like, if it's a decision that needs a buying committee and it's a decision
Correct.
that it needs
Yeah.
to stay into the house, it's more complicated, but for sure will make me open if I'm in a struggling moment.
Yeah. I was talking, I wanted to refer only to this part of the role of the outbound, the email, okay?
Yes.
How should we write that email, whatever. Yes, we can be creative and we signed ourselves, we say about ourselves, we don't say whatever. But if we have the jackpot, that person
Yes.
needs it, it doesn't even, I mean, it matters, but not so much. Okay, let's see. What can you tell me about customer retention? What are the mistakes, if you had some mistakes during your entrepreneurial experience with customer retention, something that I don't know increased the churn?
One of the things that it's really important to mention is the fact that with one of the previous version of Narrio, when before pivoting, we had a client that wanted to pay us, and at a certain point, we figured out that for sure it will be a bad client because we had so much friction before, and we rejected to have him as a client.
How to
Even
reject
though
the
we
client?
weren't, even though we didn't had money, but at the same time, we thought that probably it's for the best to not accept it because it wasn't an ICP. The value of the contract wasn't so huge to make a difference. And from my standpoint, it's important for you to figure out which are the clients you want to follow or not. Because most of the time, the clients will give you the direction because they are paying you to grow the product in a specific direction. And because that direction can be faulty or a direction that you don't feel you can achieve or doesn't make sense because probably it's the only client who wants that, that can derail you for many months because it's confirming some of your hallucinations. Because as AI, we can't predict the future. But at the same time, if someone is paying us, it puts us another bet on something that we thought. And that was one of the things, like, we tried to raise money for Narrio for 1 year. And each time we wanted to raise money, we got rejected by different VCs, or some VCs told us, you should go in that direction. This direction doesn't have legs. And looking back now, if any of the VCs would pay some money on the previous directions that we had,
Go that
it
direction.
put us on a very bad trajectory. So somehow I'm grateful for that, even though it was a bad pill to swallow. So that's one of the things related with customers. They are giving you, like, they are encouraging you to go on a direction. And if they are good customers and they believe in you, they will probably put you in a direction that probably you don't want to go, even though they are willing to pay because they have that problem. So this is one thing that it stayed with me. Other than that, retention, it's a challenging work, mostly in the beginning when you need to handhold them and try to be as white glove as possible because you learn with those clients if they are good clients and they are fit in the direction that you want to go. So probably these are the things that it come up now in my mind related with customers. And in the beginning, you need to figure out if your platform is a platform that, like, the product that you're building probably doesn't need everyday login. Because one of the shitty things that happens in the Romanian ecosystem, and I believe in outside also, in the startup world, is that people who didn't build any startup come and give advice to people who are building startups, and they have that entitlement because from their roles they made some money.
Okay.
And because of that, they come and explain, like, you should do this, you should do that. Most of the time when I need to give advice, most of the time I ask a ton of questions. And that's one of the things that it's really important in the process of understanding the clients that you're bringing in. Those clients are similar with these people who are like giving you money because they made money. They have this aura of, yeah, probably they know what they are saying because they already made money. No, they're just people who,
Yeah.
that's
But this
why
is
one of the things that I'm doing, and it's a mantra for me, is all the people are experts in their past and they hallucinate the future. So all the time when I'm doing customer interviews, I try to understand how they struggled in the past to figure out if it's worth investing in a solution in the future.
this is something that you as an entrepreneur learn in time, right? It's because you will face, I don't know, as you said, months of customizations. I also had this. I wanted to go as an advantage of the platform to do some custom work. I did some custom work and then got, I don't know, something, a few pennies. And it was like, okay, I made it one time, connected with that client, or let's say friends, not friends, but have a relationship. But in the end, there are hours of work, and not the result wasn't too good, let's say. Okay, let's move a bit forward. Tell me something, Mircea. Have you ever been broke?
In my startup life, I had some months when we didn't have money in the agency and it needed to be creative. Like one of the things that I did in that month, I sold some customer product market fit workshops to a magician,
Okay.
get some money. You get very creative when you need money. So, yes, but one of the things that I can share is the fact that I jumped in this whirlwind of entrepreneurship with kind of a safe net. Like, I will not lie and say, like, I am all in here, like in the stories that you see on LinkedIn, people who are like struggling and living under the bridges and all that drama, because for sure I'm having my mother is alive, thank God. My wife, it's with me. I have a house. I don't have mortgages. I have to pay some taxes to the
Yeah, of course.
enough, but I can put it on a loan and figure out a way to pay it. But at the same time, the situation is not so dramatic.
Okay.
1 year ago, probably I would say like, yeah, you can build a startup from the comfort of your home and you can vibe code it and everything. I stopped believing that. I believe that you need resources and you need people more than resources. Like
Okay.
for me, I'm not a team player. That's one of the things that it's hard for me. And not that I'm not a team player, is that I'm afraid to ask for help. So because of that, most of the time I'm trying to do things alone to prove that I'm worthy of doing something. And working with a team and the team from Cube for me was very humbling because even though I was trying to be the lone wolf, they become the pack. So because of that, even in the moments when we were broke together. When we had challenges, we had challenges together. We had the blessing and the safety net of a team that was bringing some money, and that's probably really important. And it's quite hard for me to let me to say that it's not comfortable. It's comfortable. It's uncomfortable. But at the same time, probably like I heard all those stories in Simon Sinek's book because I'm very big fan of Simon Sinek. And if you have a strong why, you'll go over bad stuff. When COVID came, I was in a company where they laid off people and our salary was half. I was laid off in my career for 4 or 5 times because I have this ambition of working in startups instead of established companies. And in startups, the how it's called instability, it's big.
Yeah.
So, like these kind of situations where it's hard, but you get with the work and you forget that you don't have money and you borrow money and you give them back and you do gigs with magicians that if Augustine is listening to this, I'm really grateful for this. I can do that. Like if you have kids and you want a great show of a magician, talk with Augustine because he helped me in November.
Okay.
Please don't cut this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I grew in a family where we had moments when we didn't have money because the same situation as me. My father was trying to be in Romania, it's called Haiduk, and try to do entrepreneurship, and he wasn't so successful in entrepreneurship. So because of that, we had moments when we didn't had money. Uh, in university the same. When I got hired, I was so scared of having money, so I went into volunteering around the world and crowdfunded, and I lived in Kenya, so without money and crowdfunding again, and all those experiences formed me until the moment when I became an entrepreneur. And that was the thing. Like, one of the things that my father did, and it was bad and it scared me to not do entrepreneurship, was the fact that because he wanted to be this Haiduk and make a ton of money, he wanted to have his own business. So he partnered himself with some shady guys, and they did some shady stuff in the company where he was an administrator. And my father, at the end of his life, got him with a sentence of 3 years of jail, the bad part, and plus 1.4 million euros debt to the government. So with that experience under my skin, it was quite frightening for me to do entrepreneurship. Like, and these kind of stories are like, they're in the back of your head, either you like it
Yeah.
or not. So because of that, I said, like, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm not, like, when I put my head on the pillow, I
Yeah.
know that the things that I'm doing are okay. I'm not exposing my family. I'm not exposing my
Yeah. You don't
kids,
touch
my
the
wife.
gray area, and that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because of that, even though we had months when things weren't so good, we had each other, and I had the family, and I had friends, and I had myself in those moments when I tried to calm myself and say, yeah, let's work, keep my mind busy, push it forward. You can't do anything.
Okay, let's get into a more optimistic part. Tell me some of the best moments in your entrepreneurship. What made you very happy, let's say?
I think the happiest moments of all are the moments when, after a weekend of working, Monday morning, the development team deploys the platform, and even now it makes me tear. The platform works and it's improved, and our
When you
features were.
release,
Yes, and
makes you the happiest person.
no, but it's about the effort that other people put
Yeah, yeah,
in something that, it's at the end of the day, when you're an early stage startup, it's mostly your hallucination trying to figure out what the
yeah,
market needs.
yeah,
And sometimes in those weekends, I'm not available to work next to them, and those things are like, uh, these are the moments that for me are really important. And that's why I say, like, kind of I suck at teamwork, because most of the time I'm thinking about me and how to save my ass and try to look cool, but at the same time the most important part is helping others look cool and empowering others. And there was that metaphor with the candlelight. And when your candlelight is blown by a wind, the only way to light it back is someone coming and lighting your candle, like we have it when it's Easter.
yeah,
And that thing, it's probably the most important. You can light your candle now with technology. Giving yourself that vulnerability to let others light your candle, that's probably the most important part in entrepreneurship, because those can be your clients, those can be your colleagues, those can be your investors, your peers, random people. Like, for me it's incredibly humbling to go at events and meet. Most of the time we are meeting each other,
yeah,
but at the same time I'm meeting random people in different events. Like, I went to an event Tuesday and I saw a guy that it was so relatable. Diana Cheresmis, that it's our common friend, made connection with him, and I saw him. I don't remember because I was drunk, and tell him, like, I know you, dude, from a bar from Bucharest. And the funny thing is that he is one of the few guys in this country who is using HubSpot for sales. What were the chances from 100 people to meet the probably only one who can be my future client and I can help him? And that level of randomness and that level of connection and that level of universe, whatever call it, that's probably the gold part of entrepreneurship, because you're exposed to a lot of people, a lot of relationships. You get trust very easily when you're a good person and you have good intentions, and I'm connecting with the beginning of our discussion, we are a team that cares a lot and we care about people. And that's why, like, one of the things that we put it on our slide, we build Narrio because we care about people and data. And that's probably one of the most important elements in entrepreneurship. The people that you meet, because it's not about what you do, it's about what you do for others. Sum it up.
Yeah, is this saying that we rise by lifting others, right? Like
Yep.
Alex from TechSpot says. Okay, let's see. Let's try to quantify some lessons that you would, in let's say maximum 1 minute or something like that, each lesson. This will be very straightforward for new entrepreneurs. I don't want to say younger because you don't have to be younger to start a business. But what would you tell them, or what advice would you give yourself if you would like to start again, all over again, a new product, a new tech company, maybe? Lesson 1.
Choose the team before the idea, because the idea will change so many times and you need the right people around to pivot.
Okay, so practically you need to find some people that would
Yes.
do stuff together with you
Yes.
without saying necessarily what to do. Because if you pivot, some of the team members won't be fit anymore.
Yes, for sure. That was one of the things that I question myself also. But at the same time, you have three elements in every professional experience: money, people, and learning or knowledge. In the beginning of a startup, you will never have money.
I would say maybe you will have at the beginning, but then you will remain without.
No, let's
Maybe
not
what
bullshit
money means,
ourselves.
maybe.
You will not
Okay.
have. You will have enough money to survive,
Yeah,
but you will not buy yourself the next Bugatti. Even
you
you're
won't.
hired in Romania, you'll
No,
not buy your next Bugatti,
no.
but let's
Yeah.
not get there. But at the same time, the amount of money that you receive, it's not the same level that you get in a well-established company.
Yeah, you won't get anything at the beginning.
Yes. So in the beginning, you
Yeah.
definitely need people and knowledge
Believe.
and learning experience, because you need to feel that you grow. So in this context, what I'm saying is like this: I definitely need to have the right people and to be exposed to the right amount of experiences, because the money is not something that I take in consideration at the moment. If I have the expectations of being paid like in a corporation when I'm working in a startup, that's delusion. So that's why I'm putting people next to what you're doing. Another thing, and it's connecting with the first, is more important to understand what kind of emotions do you want to feel, instead of trying to have is this thing that we want to be right to feel that we are valuable. But you can feel valuable in many ways. You can feel valuable helping others. You can feel valuable by doing small things that no one wants to do. You can feel valuable by valuing yourself, like jobs to be done on practical things. And when you're setting yourself that you want to do a specific thing, you don't want to do that thing, you want to get the emotion of doing that thing. Like, that was one of the most eye-opening stuff I saw on Jobs to be Done. Because in Jobs to be Done, you have the three jobs of every product: functional job, emotional job, and social job. Is it helping me? How is making me feel? How others are perceiving me by using that product? So because you have these three, the first two are super connected. I can send emails, but at the same time, how is making me feel sending emails with you? So most of the time, that was one of the things that I learned last year, that people are not buying the feature, they are buying how the feature is making them feel. Because at the moment, everything on this world was already fixed.
Yeah, totally
But
agree.
yeah, like, if you want to
I
start a
totally
startup,
agree. People say find the need. Every need is fixed already. Come on, what
yes,
need is not fixed?
yes. See,
Yeah,
I have the
all
same
the
feeling.
needs are fixed already.
But people are searching for emotions.
And also, this is hard to find with AI, right?
So because of that, I understood that the report that you get from Narrio, how is making you feel. For account executives, it's making them feel afraid, because probably they are threatened that the manager will see their performance for last week. So probably they will hate it. But the manager will feel in control because he needs that. He's asking for that report each week, and most of the people are like scrambling around. So that's the game. That's why probably my ICP it's not account executives. So that's why in Narrio we build specific features for account executives to give them something for the data that they put. Because most of the time when you put data on a CRM is not giving you anything back. Mostly blame from the manager.
Yeah.
So we analyze the data to give them something back, for them to feel that they get something for doing that job that I don't want to input data in the CRM. Why? Because people will hang on that. Okay, let me give you some insights on that data. Let me help you close that deal. Let me make you look extraordinary because you closed that deal after those weeks. So it's more about, that's why I was talking in the beginning about the anxiety of the sales leader who is walking into the board meeting with knowing what's happening in the pipeline, because that's confidence. That's easing the frustration. That's easing someone's struggling moment. So that's why I'm tapping specifically on that.
Let's see
So
another.
that's one of the things that it blew my mind this year.
Let's see the third
lesson. Because startup life, it's a tedious and stressful and chaotic, and you can put every bad thing around. Sometimes startup founders, they look like trolls or Grinch because they are tired. My God, another client, blah, 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 blah. Because you get so much stress and cortisol in your body, you're not resting very well. Sometimes you lose hope, you put pressure on yourself, you use anger on yourself instead of clients who are like bad clients and so on. So because of that, as founders, we don't find joy in what we are building. So most of the time, one of the things that, and even in this, why you're laughing?
I think I know what's coming, and I'm feeling the same. Continue.
I don't know if you're thinking about letting go, but I was thinking more of finding joy and trying to have fun, and instead of trying to have tasks and things to do, trying to have quests and trying to learn stuff. Like I reframed the idea of outbound into the quests of learning instead of doing outbound for the sake of outbound because people are not answering and are ignoring me. So probably this framing, it's more important for me because that's one of the things that it helped me a lot in bringing joy into what I'm building.
Okay, so let's say it in one sentence because we said we laughed, and I want to say something after that.
Say it now because I will probably reframe the ending.
Regarding this thing that you said, and I really agree with learning, I'm doing stuff with my kids, I don't know, whatever, handmade stuff, and of course it fails. And I tell them, look, the first time we will try to do this, whatever it is, we will fail. I mean, it's okay when you say fail, it can have different type of meaning. I mean, a fail can be a bankruptcy, fail can be like 1 minute doing something again. But of course, every time you are doing something the first time, whatever it is in personal life or business, you will 90% of the time fail because you don't know what to do, what is better. Then you will optimize. Like this podcast, if you watch the first episode or this one, you will see a difference. And you have to embrace this and agree, look, but if I don't do the first one, or I do it, let's say, and not publish, I'm doing it but not publish, it won't be the same because you have to live that emotion, that scenario of putting out, right? Or the risk. What is the risk? To look weird, right? So it's the same what you say. We know that how many times we did this? No, I don't know. It's the first time. Okay, we will fail, or maybe do it bad quality or something.
Yeah, but the quality is in the eyes of the maker, and sometimes but the
not everybody.
The internal ambition of someone of improving, it's something that needs to be internal.
Yeah, but we failed already a few times. If somebody doesn't fail because I don't know, he has a normal life and doesn't fail to stuff, obviously, because you can fail, but it's not obvious that you fail. It's just a mistake. Okay, you don't see it as a fail and learn. I don't know, I just painted with red something that was blue, whatever. But we already have this exercise of failing and learning. Not everybody has this. Not every first founder. So they see it as like children, I don't know, in the world of business.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, probably that's your example is making my answer more powerful.
Yeah.
We forget to play
Yeah, we
in
forget.
business.
But if you play with money, it's different.
Take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah.
Really too seriously. Like that's one of the things that I can say, like, because we are trying to be professional and trying to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
correct, and we are trying to
Yeah.
make it as polished as possible, and we try to look neat even though we are a startup founder and everything is hectic and chaos
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Even though with all those we are trying to look neat, like professional, like no, it's not.
You try, because if you don't try, then you will do nothing. When you try to go high stake, you will do to the middle. But if you don't
Yes.
try,
But it's important to have joy. Like that's one of the things, like I'm saying, like if you don't have the joy of building,
yeah, probably you
because you
won't
can
build.
lose it, that's one of the bad things.
Okay, so the third lesson after all this
Yeah.
information.
Even it's tiring and it's stressful and it's hard, don't remember to have joy and find joy in what you're building.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mircea. It was a very nice discussion.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you,
too.
and good luck. Tell me, please, tell our audience where people can find you and Narrio.
On LinkedIn, Mircea Serediuc, linked Narrio.app, as you will see it on the screen. And other than that, if you have challenges with sales and mostly complicated sales, I'm here to help.
Thank you very much, and good luck. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Same. Bye.